Chicken, you're just a little chicken.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Netflops podcast. This is the podcast where we watch movies that are poorly rated on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, and we figure out whether they were really bad movies or not. My name is Andy Doherty, and along with me is my co-host Adam Shanketic. Adam, how you doing, man?
Hello. We watched an interesting movie this week.
We watched the 2011 horror webcam movie Unfriended.
Horror computer film.
And actually, also joining us today is our first guest on the podcast.
Woo.
So
What's up?
thank you in disembodied voice. That is Eric Van Dusen. He is our first guest. Eric, good friend of ours. You also wrote the intro to our podcast. We thank you for that, and we love it.
This is true. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate those kind words.
Eric, how was this experience of watching this movie with us, and now you get to talk about it? How was the experience in general, I should say?
The experience was, it was surreal.
Yeah.
All right. I felt somewhat immersed. This movie was definitely something. That's pretty much what I can say about it. It was something.
I mean, all right, I'll go through a quick plot synopsis before we get into what went down in this movie, or rather, like, what didn't go down in this movie. A lot of nothing nothing happened in this movie.
Because, sorry to cut you off, it was all taking place from the main character's POV of, like, the computer screen.
Yeah.
Which is what irked me.
Well, so it's taking place from, like, a Skype call. From, like,
the Skype call is part of it. It's the computer, like, actual screen share.
Yeah. But that was, like, another part of it, too.
What do you mean another part of it? That was the part of the movie. It was a computer screen, and she was like, "Oh, gotta go to Apple Music," or whatever it was called back then. No, right? What was
Can I spoil it? The computers. That's the whole movie. The whole fucking movie.
Like, it was paced weird, and
it was paced horribly.
And, like, she would, like, make typos and then, like, backspace on it and not type in stuff. Like, switch tabs like the speed of a snail, and then, like, towards the end of the movie, she, like, sped it up and actually typed correctly. I'm like, why? Like, I get to carry the plot along, but, like, why?
Well, I remember, like, Eric said during the movie, he was like, it's like watching my grandma try to work a Mac.
Literally. It's like a good quarter of it is them just trying to work through technical issues. Yeah. Like, no, click that one. No, just share your screen. You're stupid. And it's like, it's...
And, like, the graininess. Remember, like, all the graininess that was around, like, all the characters?
Yeah.
And that was on purpose, right?
Yes.
Because, so... that leads us into our synopsis. Boom, baby, transitions. Segues. So, what this movie is that it's like a I Know What You Did Last Summer type feel to it, of, like, a ghost is coming back for their revenge.
No, that's Paranormal Activity, what you're explaining.
Also a component in this movie. No, so it's a ghost coming back for its revenge on the people that caused her death, which was this group of friends that were friends with her when she was alive.
Oh my god! All right, hold on. Let me pull up my character sheet.
They just went to the same.
I'm sorry, unmemorable characters. Go ahead, Eric.
I think there's, like, some of them knew her. Like, they all, like, knew her, but they never, like, mentioned. They never cared to mention whether they were, like, tight or whether they just.
No, what do you mean? There was all those pictures that they were taking together when they were close together.
The one of them, it was the main
Blair.
character. Blair. The main character, Blair, was, like, supposed to be close with her from, like, birth, like the womb and stuff. So it's like,
who's
Laura Burns is the
murdered girl. So
carrying the podcast.
So it's all about Laura Burns, who's now haunting this computer. We find out very early on. Computers.
Right.
Well, a whole Skype call. She's haunting a whole Skype.
You keep hyping on it's Skype. Skype is just part of it. They also go on Facebook, which is very prevalent.
Oh, yeah.
And like I think what's Apple
YouTube
stuff? Yeah, YouTube's on it. Live Links.
Live Leak.
Yeah.
Well, that's where her suicide was.
Which is, I guess it wouldn't be on YouTube, right? Plus YouTube would.
Right.
What do you mean? They.
I don't know, man. Like that Lively, that was pretty mild for Lively.
Yeah, I get. So it starts out with Laura Burns like in a gun. Put the money in the gun.
Put the money in the gun.
In a park with a gun pointed towards her, and people just no, please.
There was nobody around her. Nobody in camera shot.
And then just point blank shoot to the face, to the chest.
So we don't know, and I feel like the people there must not have really been. I don't know what it was, if it was the nerves or if they were really just indifferent, because she didn't look like she knew what she was doing. She had her arms out like full length, looking at the thing with both hands, just staring like what do I, and like they had so much time to do something.
Yeah,
she wasn't looking at him. She could see somebody run. Like, no, don't.
Yeah, right.
Shoot yourself. No.
Yeah, that was odd.
Yeah.
And then it's slowly like piecing together the case of why she decided to kill herself.
Is it 5 friends altogether?
It is
5 or
Blair, Mitch, because Blair and Mitch are dating.
Oh, Val comes on.
There were 6 people on the call. Yeah.
And only Val briefly.
Yeah, no, she's in it for a very short amount, surprisingly.
Yeah, she's in it for like 5 movie minutes, and then like they're all like bitching at each other too, preemptively. So what sets them off initially is that like Blair and Mitch, who are together, who's like a regular like high school romance, they're seducing each other over Skype.
Yes,
that is how it's
and that scene was pretty interesting.
Yeah, we can probably dive very deep into that because that was something else.
Well, so they're like being like, I don't know, they're just flirting with each other, and then she starts taking her top off, and he's
at
like,
knife point.
Well, she was going like, you gotta show me what I'm working with there before I take your virginity at prom, Blair. And she's like, make me. She gets really close to the camera and says, make me. And he takes out a knife and is like, I'm gonna stab you.
I wish I wrote down the quote. That was a good...
Oh, I totally missed the part about how Blair, like at the beginning of this movie, like we're viewing it from her computer screen. She's the one who's looking at the live leak stuff. So she's like well aware. It's like a year after.
No, it's exactly a year after.
Yeah, it's the anniversary. And it's all from like her computer and her videos, and she's just watching like this girl's suicide, and then hops into a Skype call with Mitch, her boyfriend, to then seduce him. And he's like,
his sex or whatever.
His first line is,
sex?
You look really down. And I'm like, yeah, she just looked up fucking videos on suicide.
This girl just got off Live Leak.
There we go. Yeah, just browsing Live Leak, you know.
Yeah, she was being a cam girl for a minute.
Right. I mean, nowadays, you can't find Live Leak, and there's a reason why you can't find Live Leak anymore. So I think that
So then it becomes like the whole enemy of this movie is an anonymous person that ends up being in their group Skype call.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's how Laura Burns starts off. What's the username though? It's like Billy something.
Billy 227.
Yeah, someone named Billy enters the call. They're like, what?
What was the point of that?
I don't know, because then like a minute later, someone goes to their profile and it's like, oh, it's Laura's Skype. Like
it took like 2 seconds.
Yeah, right. It was nothing. So it was like, what was the point of it?
Yeah, that did not.
Meanwhile, all their Skype names were like literally like, oh, Val, whatever, Blair, Mitch. They all like, because when they talked, it like came up and it all had their names. So I don't know.
Which I never did when I used Skype.
Yeah, I always had like a silly name or like a dick, like
in
numerics. Yeah, the A equals D.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah, it felt very like Mark Zuckerberg being like, "Hello, fellow children." Like,
yes.
This is how you cyberbully.
That's a whole thing I want to get into later. It's just like, close the computer, leave.
Yeah. So this thing keeps terrorizing them, and it starts to say things like, "You better not, get off of the Skype call.
I know what you did last summer.
But like initially,
Literally.
they keep getting off of the Skype call to reset it.
Yeah. So there was no.
There was like multiple times they hung up like over and over again, and I mean, you find out that really doesn't matter. I feel like the ghost had whatever it had an agenda, man.
What was it? A ghost or a spirit?
Well, no, because they went on to Blair went onto that one website to like research like angry spirits.
Right. So it was Mitch had like sent it.
Oh, okay.
He was like they saw this like mysterious guy in the Skype call, and she was like, "Oh, this is weird. We can't kick him out of our Skype call. It's a glitch." And her boyfriend's like, "But what if it's not? Here's this website. And it's a literal. It's a link to a fucking like creepypasta. Like,
Yes.
like don't talk to the dead. Don't respond to emails from the dead. Like, they can possess your computer. Like,
well, I thought that it was a starting thing. Like the way that she initially clicked on it was that she was going to like. She was like, oh, because she's getting DMs on the side of this entire thing.
Just from Mitch, though.
No, and Laura Burns.
No, that's through Facebook.
On her Facebook. I'm saying DMs.
What's the Apple thing?
Right. So on her Messenger, whenever it would go between two. So like whenever she got like a DM from Mitch, her boyfriend, I guess you could say like the one of the like the other main person besides her, because the focus is on her or whatever. It's like it comes to her through like the Apple Messenger.
Yeah.
Right? But the weird thing is he's like the only person
Yes.
that shows up
in the contacts or whatever. Yeah, the whole list. Yeah.
But on Facebook, she's just got like mad people.
Yeah, and the messages keep deleting, which I don't know if that was like a thing they couldn't overcome or like have the timestamps right. Even though I don't know if it was CGI, I don't know how this movie was actually shot. It looks like it was a little of both of like a real Facebook thing, and they kind of mixed and matched, and maybe CGI. I don't really know.
Yeah, because then you can edit it to how you want it specifically.
Yeah, right.
Because it did look like a little off
at points. Yeah, but sometimes it felt like the Skype call just looked like a Skype call.
Oh, they had all the sounds in there, definitely.
Yeah. Oh my! It brought back memories because I haven't used Skype in a good amount of time.
10 years.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
But I see. That's why I thought that the guy that she was messaging on the iMessage or whatever, I thought that was Laura Burns.
Yeah.
Because like it was really creepy that on some of the stuff that Mitch was saying.
That should have been a plot point and was not.
Right. It was almost like it was like a red herring, or just like they were like, we got too much shit in this movie.
Which they didn't.
They tried. I mean, it was like but like immediately it was like. At first, they're just like, Mitch is like saying all this, oh, what if it's not a glitch?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, and he's sending her all this creepy stuff. And then all of a sudden, it's just like, as soon as they bring that up, you know, they start getting messages from Billy. And Mitch is like, everybody put your hands up. And everybody does. And it keeps typing. So he's just like, oh, no, okay. Yeah, so, yeah.
Fucking annoying. I liked how every single time we went into her DMs, whether it be Facebook or Messenger or whatever, every single time we did it, like the Skype would just fade out. So there was no background noise.
Yeah, also, while it's still in my head, only 3 songs played this whole movie.
Do you have the names?
The way. No, I wish I... there was a little more when the ghost took over and then played like 2 or 3 songs, but she herself clicked and played 3 songs, and that was it.
And the rest was just ambient noise.
And another thing was her typing, was the most thing we heard this entire movie. Was the typing of the keyboard.
Yeah.
And
just like a...
Yeah. And it wasn't ever because she closed out of Skype so you can see her, her actual, the actress typing. It was weird. I didn't like it.
No. So it was just focused in on the screen. It was just focused in on the screen. So it was never you never saw anything in real life.
Shit would just happen. The whole movie. It was just kind of like you had to keep track of each thing that's happening. Okay, she's messaging somebody, then clicks out, goes to this website, and most of it's just mundane as shit. And in the background, it's her friends just going no, click that, or they're screaming for some reason the whole time.
Yeah, that whole point, to me, it felt like dead air of her muting the Skype call, but it wasn't muted, and then Googling shit or mistyping whatever. I don't even remember what she did half the time.
What if you catch later in the movie, all of a sudden, for some reason, there's a little box that'll pop up with the current Skype call in it. So the whole fucking time.
I thought you were gonna say so.
Yeah.
No.
Something happened during this movie where in the top right hand corner, a box came up that said
Low battery, like power
Low
off
battery.
imminent. Like,
it was like we told you 5 minutes ago, we told you 15 minutes ago, and we're like, oh my god, like her computer's like so low on battery. Charge your computer. Come on, what are you doing?
Right, like they're really committed to like making it really real, you know, like a low
I
battery
was like,
notification and everything.
yeah, I was like, damn, like Macs do have that. That's like canonically correct.
Yeah. Like shit, who do they have to pay off to like get the rights to do this?
And then all of a sudden, the computer that we were streaming with blacked out.
Yep.
So it was our computer.
So we were all like immersed at this point. We were like kind of into it, and then the computer shut off, and we were like what? Like 15 seconds go by before like someone was like, "Wait, was that the computer?"
Yeah. Wait, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Is it gonna
we're all like on pins and needles, like, what's happening?
We're like, hold on, wait, is it about to get fucking scary?
Right.
Whoa, what? No.
Did you guys feel tense during this movie? I felt tense at a couple times during this movie.
I felt tense when the battery low was on the screen because I was like, that's a plot point where the computer's gonna turn off, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm next."
Dude, the worst thing is, I realized it's like I plugged it in, it's over there and stuff, and I'm watching it, and I'm thinking to myself, this guy's really annoying me with this battery thing. Like, it's really making it hard to watch this movie and be like, try to be like, actually like, oh, I could be scared right now. And then when it turned off, I realized I was like, oh my God.
But it makes like, and you guys are probably gonna share in this too. It makes me more angry because we literally thought that there was a plot point that carried us from like 10 minutes into the movie where this movie stops being
right.
Like anything until people start dying.
Low key, it kept it like more interesting than any other aspect of like the rest of that whole movie.
Well, we kept harping back to it because
what's going on with it, right?
Nothing else was going on the screen either.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for a good 20 minutes, I think at the time check, it was like roughly around that time, nothing was happening from after the time check. It was just like them goofing around and like, oh, like a weird thing would happen and they play it off. Oh, another weird thing happened. Oh, they played it off. Then it's like, oh, I didn't mean to post these on Facebook. I don't know if I got Facebook. Oh, take him down. All right, hold on, I'm having trouble. All right, I took him down. And like that was it for like half the movie.
Yeah.
It was like technical weird like stuff that they played off.
Well, so it was like, so the Facebook that's DMing her is a dead girl that's been dead for a year. And then like her and Mitch are having this whole side conversation of like, what do I do? You got to report it. Oh, like the report button isn't there. Oh, refresh the page. Like,
and then it fixes, yeah.
And then it fixes, and then she unfriends it. But it's like shit like that. And it's supposed to be like, it's supposed to be scary. It's supposed to be setting up something to be scary, but then nothing scary happens.
You're like, I can't block this person.
Dude, I
can't do it. Oh my God. I can't. Mitchie, I can't do it.
Mitchie,
yeah,
babe,
Mitchie.
Babe, just refresh it, babe. Babe, what are you doing? Refresh it. Dude, no, I think it was like 2 or 3 times where like the ghost couldn't, like, oh, they refresh it. Rats, like swiping.
They refresh the page.
Yeah.
Guess I gotta kill them one by one. All right, so let's get into when shit starts getting real in this movie. So we were probably over an hour in before it starts becoming like
a little prior, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, maybe that was at like 40, 45, 50.
Yeah, not
getting close to that hour mark. Like you solidly wasted a good more than half hour of your life at this point.
Yeah, and it is literally like we looked at some of the reviews and you see like it's just a bunch of screaming teenagers for 2 hours. Like that 30-minute part where nothing is going on is 1000% just teenagers screaming.
Oh yeah,
we were like trying to get food ordered here during that time, kind of.
But like there was no plot points going on. There was literally no plot points going on. It was like, oh, someone's doing this to us. We're trying to figure out who it is. But it just kind of goes on for like way too long.
I know. Sorry to cut you off. I know it's a horror movie, and there's got to be like, oh, 8 people like making mistake after mistake to get killed. And I get that, but it was so rough watching it from a computer screen was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like if it's like, oh, a tense, like cabin in the woods and like, oh, like knocking at the window, oh, the murderer and blah, blah. It's a computer screen. It's just like,
that's the thing. Like
I can feel
horror movies are like you get scared because like you watch any like even like you turn Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Even a part of that will scare you because you're like, oh man, what if that was that's terrible. I couldn't get away from that at all. Yeah. Like you do feel something with this. Maybe the director was like, the viewers are like, they can't do anything but watch these poor people. But like, you know, it's just as soon as like things start happening, I'm almost just like, oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna, oh, there we go. Like, it's just.
Well, it's because after the first girl dies, right? So we end up meeting like one of the side characters. So there's Blair. There's Blair, who's the main girl. There's Mitch, who's her boyfriend, who are the first two people we see that are like scantily clad, trying to sex each other over Skype. Then there's Ken, who's like the nerdy fat one, who's making all the jokes. There's Adam. Adam was the dude with the gun.
Yeah, and then I think Adam and Jess were together.
Yeah, which they never said.
No, because she got real upset when Adam like cheated on her.
But you're assuming it, and then when he dies, spoiler alert. And then when he dies, she gets super upset as well. But like, it's never said.
Yeah,
it was never said that they were like together.
They didn't really get into details much with this one.
No.
Boys.
No. Like, we don't know these characters.
No.
We really don't. Like, I guess we get to learn Blair a little bit, but it's because it's from her own computer.
Yeah. Which, I like the concept of it. I just feel like it could have been done a little better. Obviously, I can say that now because it's like, oh, they wouldn't be using Skype and blah. I feel a little out of touch with this just because it's, a good 8 years old?
Something
math?
like that.
2014.
Yeah. 2014,
Is my math right? I'm not going to check it. Let's just say I'm right.
2014. Yeah, well, yes.
7.
Calculator app to fucking simple math.
It's just about
Number
2
sort
years.
of period. The number. Seeing quadratic angles.
Yeah. Negative numbers, imaginary numbers.
Yeah, I was going on the whole thing that this was like a 2011 movie, like a 2010 movie, because that's what it felt like to me in terms of like their lingo and stuff like that.
Like, it was directed over a year, so you can blame it on that. And
it was a 2014 movie though.
Yeah.
We were, I mean,
It felt very much like the times, because even like the way that the first weird thing that happens even is when, like, going back to when they were, the very beginning, when she's getting ready to show him, Mitch, Blair's getting ready to show Mitch her, like,
boobas.
her boobas, and he's just like, hey, I got this knife. I look like Fred Figglehorn. I'm going to stab you. Show me boobies. And, like, she's like, okay, sure. Oh, wow, that made me do it. And
such a square.
I guess it's the ghost is the one that jumped them in, like, all their friends into this call, and they're just like, oh, you like boobs, loser? Like, oh, you do that a lot?
No,
you guys cyber sexting?
Mitch.
Oh, you got a boner, bro. Look at
the-
Mitch's boner, everybody.
The Hunger Games boy. Who's that guy?
What?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
He looks like him, but not a lot.
Oh, you mean
Dude, the kid that was in fucking Jumanji?
Yeah.
Was he in Jumanji?
Yeah, he was in
he's in
I'm looking.
Jumanji.
Okay, I'm gonna get this kid's name up because I'm totally fucking wrong on that one. What was this? The one that's like Jumanji, but the space one.
Oh, you mean yeah, it was like a spin-off movie of Jumanji.
Yeah. He was in that one.
Oh God, with Kristen Stewart.
Was Kristen Stewart?
Oh, the space. That's a movie I want to
And
rewatch.
Chris Pratt.
No, Chris Pratt wasn't anything besides.
Josh Hutcherson.
Yeah,
Josh Hutcherson.
He does look like Josh Hutcherson, but not a lot.
not a lot, but
Not a
like
lot.
the square head.
Yeah, you're just
They got
using
the square
you're
head.
using one facial feature to compare to another person that looks like that.
Oh, that man has the same facial feature. No, they don't look alike though.
Well,
It's just the square head. It's nothing.
Okay.
It's nothing else on their body. It's nothing else about their facial features. It's just a square head.
Yo, Andy, we have the same hair color. We're the same.
I have a pretty square head.
Yo.
I shouldn't be talking. Really
Andy.
shouldn't be talking.
You look like Adam, but not a lot.
I thought you were gonna go worse than that.
No. Val got into the call.
Yeah, sure. Let's roll into that.
Well, okay. So when they're trying to get rid of
The random
the
person.
Billy
Yeah.
2277, and then she's also getting Blair's also getting messages from the side from Laura's dead Facebook profile. Why is she trying to memorialize? So he's like, reporter. Mitch keeps saying, reporter. And she finally eventually gets in after like the ghost is playing with her or whatever. And she like is trying to memorialize the account.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not blocking it.
Yeah, she went to unfriend her. Haha, unfriend.
Real credits.
Yeah. Why not just block her if like you're getting messages from them? Obviously, it's to be like, oh, why do you have this dead girl's account? Like, how do you know? Because Blair was friends with Laura, which is like explained pretty heavily.
I'm thinking of the scene where we see her shit her pants.
I was waiting with somebody. I didn't want to bring that up too early. This movie is, yes, she did the big commit because she shat her pants.
Well, so Laura, the whole thing is that Laura killed herself because she was getting like cyberbullied because of video posted of them at like a party, and at the end of the YouTube video, which none of them had seen apparently.
I don't know. Also, I don't know how like Blair was like putting it off. Like I didn't do that. I would never do it the whole movie.
Oh, because she was lying.
I know she was lying, but like to kill her boyfriend over a lie. But the ghost knew about never have I ever.
The ghost knew
that
everything.
Game. Yeah, the ghost knew everything. So why fucking lie?
She's like Santa Claus.
Yeah, why would you lie to Santa Claus? Santa Claus is just gonna fucking know.
and he's gonna kill you via webcam.
Yeah.
We gotta get into the powers that this ghost has.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was some wild shit.
So we see the ghost like. So first it's like doing like things like, oh, I can't like forward this email to you guys with like exposing information on us leading to Laura's death. Like it's just stupid shit like that. Then it goes to what? It goes to that stuff of like posting the YouTube videos, and they play Never Have I Ever, which we need to get into. And like she knows all this information about them. Then it goes to fully mind controlling them into killing them themselves.
Which is on the creepypasta, which is if we paused to read the movie, it would have explained the whole like fucking plot of the movie.
Yes, yeah.
It said like, oh, ghosts can do this, and that, and then like thanks bye, like that was it. Like,
am I wrong to say that when she clicked on that original post, like it was like a what was it? What was I trying to think of? It was like a it was like how to a person is on Facebook. That's how she gets into the memorialized thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
she was like trying how to block. You know, she would like search like how to lock someone's that died's Facebook or something. Yeah,
and something simple.
On the second Google search was the creepypasta.
No,
Mitch had sent her like a link to this thing about what if it's some weird creepy ghost stuff, and sent her a link to this creepypasta. And like the weird thing I noticed that whenever she like searched anything afterwards, it was like the top result, which if you read it and you take the time to pause and read it, it would explain exactly what to do to not have to deal with a ghost murdering you via fucking webcam. Yeah, but it just keeps coming up. So if like the ghost is doing that, why? Like,
I don't know, but yeah, in the creepypasta,
it's supernatural powers.
It said, what to do, and like it was like from my memory, it was like atone for your sins, like
you must confess, like
confess, that parlay with the ghost, like don't like it was like 4 or 5 things.
And then she starts confessing at one point to the ghost through the DM.
At the ghost.
Yeah. In the Laura's Facebook DMs, she starts confessing to it like all kind of throughout.
It was just like as things had like progressed, and truths came out. When it was like,
exactly. Like when it came to fruition that Blair slept with Adam, then she confessed to the ghost because it was already out. I felt like it was a little like, okay, yeah, the ghost already outed you. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you want? Like.
Yeah, I think that leads into that whole thing of like, you're like, oh, why would she lie at the end of that video? Well, she was lying to the fucking ghost the whole time. So, I mean, that just kind of gave away who she was as a person, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like that may have been, like, the ghost was, like, trying to get them to admit that they did all this, like, bad stuff.
Well, what did everybody, like... Okay, Blair did some stuff. Jess, the girl, did some stuff.
Yeah.
But what did Mitch do? What did Adam do besides sleep with Blair? That has no effect on what's her name's death, does it?
Laura, no.
Laura's death.
This is like the Jigsaw effect, where it's like Jigsaw's like fucking you smoke cigarettes, so you go through my puzzle, and the guy's like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
You have to inhale all the smoke from the back of this car's tailpipe.
Yeah,
like,
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Learn your fucking lesson. Like, yeah, but
the nerdy guy Ken too. What did they do?
Ken was fuck. He's a king, man. You know, he was a king. Dude, the whole time, like this shit's going down, and he was the first person to be like, "Yo, hey, hold up, I got this really sick like antivirus, like Trojan hunting
Yeah,
software shit. He got it all to them in like a second. Told them exactly what to do. They deleted it. Like, he was on top of it, and then he just like smoked a bowl, and he's just like, "Oh, you guys are fighting. Hey, yo, Adam, come meet me. Let's go across like the train tracks or something. Go meet up with the boys and do some more stuff." Like, I don't know.
You know
man.
what he said? He said that Laura deserved to die. Remember that line?
No, I'm trying to think of
He
was like, that bitch deserved it.
He was
Yes.
like, you know what? She
In-
was mean to everybody.
in like a comment. Yeah, no. What Adam did was he said he would trade Jess's life for Laura's, and that's why he died.
How is that? No, he died because
The paper was shown. Yeah,
the ghost printed out papers that said, if you show this paper, Blair will die, and he gave that one to Adam, or gave that one to Adam, and then the Adams one went to Blair, and then was Adam going for the paper to show it?
No, so it was like
it was a countdown.
Yeah,
I forget
Was
what.
it?
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
It was, and if the timer went down, it was a question that somebody didn't want to own up to. I think it was Mitch. He didn't want to own up to it, and he only had one finger left or something like that. Or like if the timer ran out, Mitch was gonna die. So to save him,
Blair had a choice.
She had a choice to either let the timer run out, and whoever's being dishonest will die, or just show the paper and just kill Adam. And of course, Adam's already waving the gun at the computer screen. I'm gonna shoot you, ghost.
Oh my god!
So she lifts up this thing, and immediately she's like, "All right, bet." That's it.
He turns the gun on himself and shoots it. So the ghost mind control.
That's my favorite death, because all of them, like Val, it was like weird. It was like a still photo of her in the bathroom next to bleach. We're like, she's gonna drink it.
Yeah, like, oh my god.
Ken died by like blender suicide, which is fucking
dude.
It was
he's just like
funny.
staring into the camera, and all of a sudden he's just fisting the blender, like, oh my hand's in blender, and then it cuts out,
like,
his face is in the fucking blender.
Technical difficulty. It's like buffering and has like the weird glitch. Adams was just like, you show my name, boom, and I was like, nice.
I'm pretty
death.
sure before he shot himself, he was just like, oh come on,
Yeah,
like
nah.
yeah, like
Wellheim screamed.
I think Ken's was the funniest though for me.
Oh yeah,
because
that sent me into orbit.
Well, like because the way that the order that it goes is that Val dies first, and there's like a bunch of mystery around it, like we see her falling over and shit.
Yeah, like cops get called.
Well, and then Blair's looking up like, oh, Val has seizures. Remember, she Googles like Val seizures.
Yeah,
Google.
She like Google.
Dude, I literally have that as a note. She Googles Val seizures. Like, again, back to the watching my grandma use an Apple computer analogy. Oh, this is what I'm talking about.
And then Ken's death comes. Like, he's the first death that we see on the camera, and it's so goofy, ridiculous.
Yeah.
That it just, I was like, I was saying to Eric, it looks like straight out of The Visit. Damn, that Shyamalan movie, The Visit, because it was so goofy. It's like the grandma asking the kid, "Can you go inside the oven to clean it while it's on?" And it's like, it was just so goofy of him just being like straight cut. It's Ken in the shot just shoving his fist into a blender.
But it's like, all these kids are in high school too, right?
Yeah,
so it's like
something I want to
this
get
guy
into,
just sitting there, a high schooler. All right, just like inside the house. All right, I'm just gonna smoke this whole bowl. Do it, and then all of a sudden, just there's a blender on his computer table, and he's like, "All right, cool."
No, remember he showed the blender once. Do you remember what was? Obviously, the purpose was to be like, "Oh, that's how he dies." But he had the blender out for another reason, right? I'm not wrong on that.
Yeah, no, in the beginning.
He did.
Well,
You're right.
See, it was so hard in the beginning when they all joined the Skype call after the whole sexting
to get
thing.
it together, yeah.
Because they were like just like making fun of each other, and he's like, and like Adam's like, "Yo, Ken, you got that blender?" And he's like, "I got the blender."
Yeah, it was like it was goofy. It made for the fucking death scene, but that was it.
It's not like there was even a party or anything. It was like, you got the blender? I got the fucking blender!
Yeah, it could have been something more of like, oh, like I'm on a diet. I'm making my fucking kale veggie smoothie or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, haha, fat joke, because it's 2014.
And that would have been in 2014 fashion.
Yeah, exactly.
You care about your health, please.
But we gotta get into fucking...
The hackers, the fat one. The fat nerd who got
Yeah, of course, yeah. Fucking, they're all alone, like, in the house. Like, it said that Blair and Mitch's fathers were out drinking. That's just from a Mitch text.
It just never meant anything.
They
never followed up on that. Like, oh, our dads are out drinking together. It's like, okay.
And he said to her, he was like, I know you're home alone. And she said, how do you know that? and he goes like, "Oh, our dads are out drinking together." Then sent him a link, and it fucked with something. It wasn't even like a picture of them out drinking somewhere. It like went to it went back to like Laura's profile.
Yeah,
and that's where I was like, "This is Laura. This is Laura fucking with it."
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, like it's shit like that where it's like Blair and Adam had printers in their room. Like, what fucking kid in 2014 had a printer in their room?
High school,
right?
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know. That was a little.
Adam had a gun,
dude, and he picked it up off the fireplace. He had a fancy ass glass of red wine and a
he was
40 and fucking 4 or 5 a fucking Magnum in the other, just like, I'm gonna shoot you, Ghost, wherever you are.
Ghost, you gonna die.
I'm coming for you.
Well, somebody knocked on his door. What was that? Yeah. So this ghost, like, that's why like another thing about this ghost, like powers, is that it goes like in between being like a solid being and fucking with them on the computer, where they're like this. They're almost like a god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so strange. But we don't have any backstory of why they're a god, other than like it's just a ghost coming back for revenge. Like, we don't have any backstory on who these friends are and how close they were. We kind of see snippets of Blair's life. But other than that, like, there's nothing tying together.
There's no background
I
on
wish
any
there
of it.
was-
There's no context.
Yeah, I wish there was a little like off computer, like 5 minute of like, oh, like, because Laura, like someone like put a pentagram and like fucking, you know, witch hazel and a rabbit's foot, and Laura came to life. You know, fucking some, you know what I mean? To explain it instead of.
I think they made a movie like that, right? Where there was they did something like that.
It's called I Know What You Did Last Summer.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's no like explanation of your powers. There's no like, oh, fucking whatever. Ken was like, oh, I know exactly what this is. This is blah blah blah. What's fucking ghost and phasmophobia? But we can name drop something. You know, it's they could be like, oh, I know what this ghost is gonna do. We can do this, this, and this. Obviously, he did. He sent the link. That was like a random fucking,
right.
You know.
Yeah,
Spectral ghost.
Yeah, they didn't even try to figure it out or like question it at all. It was like, hey, do you want to play a game of Never Have I Ever? And the loser, it's not like a drinking game. You don't drink, you die. And they're not just like, yo, we got to figure this out. They're like, oh, which one of you can I kill off first? They get immediately Hunger Games shit, like right off.
Well, they were like, who's gonna die first, bitch? There was like a solid 10 minutes where they just kept calling each other bitch. It was so strange.
God.
Oh man,
I still want to know. Like, there's so much I want to know. You go on.
List what you want to know. We'll try to answer it best we can.
Oh yeah, me and Andy are great at just like solving shitty mysteries.
Right.
We just grab at random strings and we're like, no, that's in fucking story. Yeah.
The first thing is like, well, first off, like, what happened to Val? Right? Was it?
Oh, she died.
Well, of course she died, but like, was it the bleach? They're like, oh, the mirror is all messed up. But then the cops showed up and they weren't like, they're confused about what was happening. So like, if they walked in and like the ghost had actually, I don't know, man, it was just weird. Nothing made sense.
Ready?
It was
like,
yeah.
Setting the scene. Val, she's in the laundry room. Boom, ghost take control. She's like, what's here? A mirror and bleach. Boom. Chug the bleach.
Well,
dude.
Before everybody died, it was showing like a still frame. Like, they would disconnect from the call, come back into the call, and then it would just be a still frame. And hers was just her sitting there just being like normal, staring off.
Normal.
Like,
she's in like a white dress or something.
Yeah.
Because it was on for like a good minute.
Yeah, where it cut off. And they're like, Val, oh my God, there's cops coming. And there's just a fucking huge tub of bleach next to her.
Yeah, when the camera gets knocked over, the bleach is, I don't think it's pouring out. I think it is just like there.
It's just sitting there.
Just there.
So she chugged it, hit the mirror, and then
so it probably made her drink bleach. Man, that's like, you can definitely tell it's 2014 because it would have been Tide Pods otherwise.
Well, they referenced the Amanda Todd suicide heavily. Remember, there was the girl who had the flashcards.
Oh, with the
right around where Val dies. Like Blair clicked on a link that she randomly got. It went to a YouTube page, and it shows like a girl with like in a black and white like background, and she has like cards with writing on it, being like, "You did this. You caused me to do this. You caused me so much pain." And then the bleach drinking, that was directly related to Amanda Todd.
Yeah.
Which,
good catch, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to fucking like dig deep.
That's kind of fucked up.
No, it is.
In my opinion,
it is fucked up.
Because
that's a little too real.
I can't think of it. There's another movie that referenced 13 Reasons Why, like very recently. That fucking obviously it's been out for like 3 years. But there was another movie that was like, like Your 13th Reason or some shit, or like they
Right.
reference Hannah Baker in some way, and I can't remember. I'm never.
But
Gonna
I just want to bring just like back to this. I just can't take it seriously because this whole thing is just like she shot herself on camera.
Yeah,
and
she's gonna.
There's no other
gonna
context.
Shit herself, maybe piss.
I don't know somebody and you see people being like, kill yourself, you're awful, and it's like. I still can't picture just seeing somebody online shit themselves and being like, hi, you should fucking kill yourself. Like, that's just, like,
right?
Like, I don't understand. Like,
it's a pretty mondo turd.
Yeah.
It was a pile of shit.
Honestly, that video was worse than the live leak one, to be real.
We're getting, like, images of them at this party, like, throughout, just to kind of, like, I guess, torture them more.
Yeah.
But somehow, like, it's from Blair's recording. So I think Blair is sitting in this whole thing knowing that this is her recording this whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's like showing like all the events of the night of like them pushing over Laura. She's trying to get into fights with everybody. Like Jess says, oh, this, like, she's like, I'm going to fuck you up. And she's like, oh, this bitch is going to beat me up, right? So it was Laura like kind of like halfway starting all this beef with everybody.
Yeah, they never really elaborated if she was like actually a bully like Ken had said.
Right.
You know?
And then it all culminates at the end of the movie when it's like who taped that video of me, who posted it, and Blair rats out Mitch so that the ghost would kill Mitch, who I think was pretty innocent. And
he was.
Yeah, he got hurt because Blair cheated on him with Adam.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
Which is like, that was like, I was like, oh, once. It's like, not that you can like excuse that, but it's like, oh, then again. Like,
that whole scene just hurt to watch because
Yeah.
then she had to proceed to explain that, well, we went a second time to see if there was something, which meant that it was like not a drunk. She was like, I was
Yeah.
drunk, it was an accident.
Exactly,
She's like, well, I went
yeah.
back another time.
Yeah.
You
and
know?
then they get a link to a YouTube video of her and Adam hooking up.
Yeah. which means like Adam recorded, which again, his death is like, oh yeah, if he just fucking
Yeah.
actually no, because then it'd be pornography, then it's legal.
No, because they were
Underage.
They were all still in high school.
It's child
They were
porn.
all
Never
still in high
mind.
school.
CP, we
CP.
have a seat right
we
here.
technically didn't see her naked.
Dude, was this? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's rated R. Why didn't they have boobs?
Because they're in high school, Adam.
They're the actors themselves. We're not.
No,
Plus,
dude.
high school,
Dude.
senior year, 18. You can
Listen,
pass that off.
if you're in
American Pie, baby.
Listen,
Okay. It's different time.
some states get really, really degenerate with those rules. Depending on where you're at, you could have some pretty low ages there. It's not great.
No, but they could have a simple fucking fix of like, oh, Blair, belated birthday present, haha, and it's like, oh, my senior year. That's inferring that they're 18. You know what I mean? They could have got
Right.
not to be like, oh, why no boobs, haha. Like,
Well, I think it's more rated R because it's showing people kill themselves
yeah,
than it is
I'm
than it
saying-
is trying to be sexy and
Yeah.
naked.
Once you get that rating, why not add a little oomph?
It might be an Amanda Todd reference too, because I think the crux of her being made fun of was that she
Right.
undressed in front of somebody on a video call.
So,
All around, I think the movie takes the topic of that very not seriously.
Yes!
And it's very bad because because the whole thing, like we were saying, when they're like, well, Laura, the one guy said, well, Laura was a bully. She was mean to people. And then, Mitch messages Blair, like, hey, is that right? Like, like, oh, no, my bad. Blair messages Mitch and says, oh, he shouldn't say those things. And Mitch says, well, he's got a point. And then she proceeds to type, but never send to Mitch. Well, when we were younger, backspaces. When we were kids, backspaces. Her uncle, backspaces. So it's like, what are you trying to like they're just painting like a really like weird, confusing picture and just kind of like trivializing the whole thing, just being like, oh, she crapped herself and had a really bad issue with her, younger in childhood, which to say is like, well, why are you
She
saying
was
that?
inferring that he got raped.
Right.
She got raped.
Yeah, exactly. She's inferring that you raped her uncle and that caused her to be a nasty person. And it's just like, that's not typical, of that experience generally. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
some parts of, like, that's part of this movie where like reading between the lines and like you figure that out. That was like a kind of nice.
Yeah.
Not that it's nice to fucking find that out, but like, it's
if this movie had a little bit
a little more, yeah.
Right, a little
explanation
more
to it.
substance. They
What
could have
if-
had something to say.
What a theory of like first-hand cyberbullying taking place.
Right.
It just I feel like it was not done well.
Yeah, like think about it. If that all happened, right, and Blair and Laura were like super close and everything, imagine if Blair like had clicked over after that conversation, and then it was like Laura drunk sending Blair like an "I love you" message.
Yeah,
Of
that could
being like I love you. You know, I've told you secrets that have haunted me. Blah blah blah. Some bullshit like that.
I know
and
that's
then that makes
niche.
sense.
Yeah, that would have made
In the
sense.
30 minutes that we spent just sitting there watching them scream at each other, would have worked fine.
Yeah.
It worked fine.
Would have been like, oh, shit, I'm sorry. Like, God, that's, I mean.
I know, beating a dead horse and like,
Right.
oh, we've seen this before. We would have said the same thing either way, but I feel like that would have been better.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just even, and you just leave it being like, well, Blair is like, it's like, not, I don't know, man. Like, there's not many redeeming qualities for many characters besides, Mitch and there's a few in the gray
And Ken.
area. Like, Laura's in the, like Laura, you just don't know
Yes.
anything about. Like,
No.
yeah.
Who just posted the pictures of Val, or was it the other
No,
way
the
around?
ghost,
that was
the
the
ghost
ghost.
posted pictures
I know the
of Val
ghost,
from,
but through whose Facebook?
Jess.
Through Jess's, yeah.
Posted pictures of Val with
At the
like,
party,
with,
partying hard.
enter
Yes.
here and like the era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the empty vodka bottles everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hitting the bong, all that stuff.
In the bung. I'm friends with my mom on here.
No, literally a line.
You need to delete those. I can't.
I can't delete it. I'm friends with my mom. No.
Let's go into them playing Never Have I Ever.
Oh yeah, that's a big part of the movie.
So it's after Val's death, right? She doesn't get to play that Never Have I Ever.
Nope. Yeah.
So Val is dead, and I think Ken's dead too, right?
No, Ken. No, because he finds the camera. Maybe Ken's not in it. No, Ken's not in it because Ken finds the camera and then blenders.
And then blenders. Yeah.
Which that was a weird thing of the how did the
Blair
ghost...
Witch.
Oh, it is Blair. Okay.
That's like a Blair Witch reference. So like they see that the view from the anonymous account that's Laura's or whatever, it goes into view and it's in somebody's house. And they're all kind of making fun of it at first, but then they realize when Ken like gets up that it's
He's like, I gotta refill my blender, and then gets.
I gotta refill my blender with my hands. I gotta refill my blender with my hands. But he gets up and they realize that the camera is pointing at him, and he like starts to investigate. He's pulling shit out of the way, and he finds where the camera is, and then he just like blank stares at it for like 10 seconds, and then the screen goes black, and then he's blundering his hands.
Yep.
Next time we see him, they're all freaking out for another 5 minutes, and then he blunders his hands.
You remember what the ghost said too
What?
about him? He's like, Ken shouldn't have hung up. But the thing is, the last you see of Ken is his webcam on the computer is still on, and he's still looking into this thing like, holy shit, I'm being filmed, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
He's got blenders for hands.
Dude, and then he's got blenders for hands.
Oh.
And then
blender
and
hands.
next thing you know, he's just got face
Yeah.
basically dude, he could not, whatever he blended last was so good, he just needed to
Yeah.
But
How about the blue light when everybody was getting killed? How about the blue hue light that just came
Yeah.
over on the screen?
I remember when I was in high school and I was because I did a lot of horror shorts in high school that I would read online about what to do to edit your films, make them scarier. One of the biggest things that they will say on online articles is tint it like blue or green, because it's just something about those colors. Like, so
It
it's
didn't
like,
work because it was like a photo frame and a Skype call.
dude, it was like Blue Man Group blue.
Yeah.
Like
It was very blue. I thought that he was mashing up some blueberries in that blender. I didn't realize it was his hands. It was his fingies.
But never have I ever. We still fucking
Yeah, I know.
beating around the bush.
Because
it
like,
lasted the whole movie. It wasn't even. I didn't even play the game really.
Yeah, they really did.
But
nobody logged off and everybody died. Like the whole thing was that when he said let's play a game, and Laura says let's play a game, the whole thing is like you can't log off of your computer, and then like I guess the whole thing of killing them is like, oh, they disobeyed the rules,
Yeah.
but you change games mid game, like
Yeah.
very dumb.
yeah, we're playing Never Have I Ever. The next thing you know, the printer thing happens. Adam's like, oh, guess it's time to shoot myself. And then they're back to playing. They're like, oh, let's keep playing Never Have I Ever.
Yeah, then
Everybody's
they
like,
keep
what?
playing Never. That was like weird too. Is that they would break and like have like their freakouts, and each character like did it at certain
Yeah.
points. And after having their freakouts, they would then be like, oh, we need to stick together and get through this. And then go back to playing Never Have I Ever.
And just like at each other's throats. Like, I'm pretty sure Mitch the one making rules trying to get Adam to die and like lose fingers?
I think it was Adam.
Adam doing
yeah,
Mitch?
he was,
Okay.
They were kind of both doing it, I thought.
I don't.
No, you're right.
Yeah. It started with Adam. He got mad at Blair for saying, "Oh, I'm telling the truth," and he just was like, "Oh, you tell the truth all the time? Well, never have I ever slept with my boyfriend's best friend."
Yeah,
and then and that started this whole thing. Mitch got pissed off.
Who's the first to die with Never Have I Ever? Is it?
It might have been Jess. How did Jess
No,
die?
I think it was Adam.
I think it was Adam.
Was the first
Jess,
to die.
Jess dies after Adam dies.
Yes.
How does Jess die though?
Jess dies
at the end of Never Have I Ever, right? Like they finish and like and then they realize that I forget what the ghost asked some type of question that was like neither of them wanted to answer. So she hopped on to chat roulette and got them to call the police. Told her to run to a bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Laura. I'm reading the Wikipedia. I'm cheating. I'm reading the Wikipedia. It says Laura tells Jess that you don't have to play anymore, and then she runs to the bathroom.
Interesting.
I'm sorry, Blair. Blair tells her that we're not playing this game anymore. We're not answering any more questions, and that causes Laura to kill the ghost to kill Jess.
Right.
Who kills her by shoving a hot curling iron down her throat,
yes.
And then she's in the bathtub with bathtub water falling on
And
top.
you know what? With this whole scene, how we find out, it's because it's in fucking meme format of like. She is dead now, bottom text.
No, literally. The ghost decides like, oh, I'm going to post a meme, bro. This is a fire meme, bro. Hot meme. This is going up right now.
4 separate memes.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah.
There was one with Adam and Blair sleeping together, and it was like, when you cheat on your boyfriend.
Bottom text.
That's going to be the shirt.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's how we're styling our shirt for this podcast.
It looked like something off of like OKVR.
Yeah.
It looked like
so bad.
It looked like they did it in MS Paint. Dude.
Yeah, it had the watermark of iFunny under it too.
Nine gag.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my god.
Oh man.
The ghost is just like cackling, like, using the fucking meme generator, and they're like, layer with the layer with the emoji pillows and everything.
I want a director's cut of this fucking movie that's just like Laura like cackling at her own memes.
How did they direct this movie? Were they just like aim a webcam at was there a film crew behind them, or were they just like, oh, just do a bunch of takes of yourself screaming and crying and stuff?
At some point, it's in my notes. At some point in this movie, it felt like they were all together, and at some point, it felt like they were a minute off script or like a minute off video, or like something got cut, and they're just like, oh, it's fine, just like they're a second off. And they just kept going. You know what I mean? It felt a little off most of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, you got to understand that also in this movie, we're cutting in and out because like they're making this effect on the screen that like people are lagging at certain points.
Yeah.
Which I guess was a prominent thing of like Skype back then. But like
not my experience, but go off. Fucking
it was the ghost.
Wi-Fi.
Right.
It was the ghost then. my Wi-Fi on my desert island that I lived
yeah.
But it was like the
Andy lives at.
my address is send your hate mail to. So the ghost, I guess the effect that the ghost had was that they were making their internet shitty. That was another effect of the ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ghost like takes up a lot of bandwidth or something.
Oh God.
Verizon has detected a VPN.
Right.
The school librarian will now confiscate your laptop.
But it's haunted, I swear. Don't take it, I'll die. Like takes the laptop, gives forehead into pencil on the desk.
And that also the freezing is really prevalent when it gets to like the end between Blair and Mitch.
Yeah.
Right before he dies. Because like remember it's like freezing and then they're like moving like tiny amount. Like super lag.
Yeah.
Super lag. And then you hear like a distant like ah.
Yeah.
And that's all you hear. You hear like a one noise bite go through. Thought that was really dumb. Thought that was a waste of time.
Yeah.
That was a waste of time. Because they were blue too. They're just standing there blue, breathing heavy. And she's like, do you love me? And he's like, yes, I love you. I love you very much. And then that's like not even 10 minutes after he's like, don't you talk to me, Blair. I want to hear from you, you're a slut. You're terrible.
Don't call me that.
She's like, don't call me that. He's like, disgusting. I hate you.
Honestly, I wanted to do a bit where we read lines from this movie, but I don't think we could have gotten 4 people talking or 3 people talking at one time.
No.
I don't think there was coherent like coercion between 3. I think characters talked to each other in this movie one-on-one.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, I'm talking to Blair and Jess. It's people just screaming over each other or talking in one-on-ones.
When it was everyone and like all 6, it was like really incoherent. But then like Jess and Val would talk, and like that'd be like the conversation that was prevalent, and then fucking like Ken would like light up another bowl or some shit, and like Adam, your dick is small, and then like that'd be the fucking joke.
Dude, that was Ken going like, he's smoking the bowl, and he goes, hey ladies, listen. If you want, I can pick you up. We go fight in a Wendy's parking lot. I'll watch you fight. I'll watch you. Like,
yo, that just made me fucking remember Big Twinks and Amish smoking Big Twinks.
Literally, dude, hard young King David energy. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
All right, so going into like the final death of like Mitch,
Eric knows what I'm fucking on about.
what?
No, I was just thinking about just that Mitch's demise. It was just not right. It's funny. I'm sorry. It's fucked up to say, but it was kind of funny.
What? Oh, of him hitting the knife?
Oh
yeah, like,
it's just the way that it's just like he was standing there frozen like Val was, and the next thing you know, he's just like face first, doing a knife on it. Like he throws the knife down, like he holds the knife, like balled up fist with the knife pointing his face, puts his fist on the desk. Slams his head down, and then he gets back up. And the thing is, if a knife is going through your head like that, you're dead. Like you're dead. Like you have severed many important connections in your brain, and you are ragdoll on the floor. But this guy just goes. He gets back up, looks at the camera, like, I got a knife in my head, shit, and then dies. And it's like, what? Why? And I just ask myself why.
Well, I like how a lot of like the deaths were so foreshadowed like earlier in the movie, because why the fuck was he like seducing his girlfriend with an actual like steak knife?
Yeah, why did Adam have a gun? Why did fucking Ken have a blender? Like all that shit. Yeah.
You know, maybe I actually think we have found a good moral of this movie, and that is don't let your children around sharp objects and firearms.
And ghosts that inhibit your computer.
Debatably, they're all 18, so they're not children.
Well,
debatably they're 18.
There goes the only good takeaway from the movie.
Yeah, I don't think this. Right? We're all in agreement. This movie taught us nothing. It wasn't.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, like the 2 of the guys that perished was a guy who thought he could shoot a ghost through a computer screen, and another guy who held a knife to a girl and said, "Show me boob." And
through organic computers.
Through organic computer screen was like booba, and there you go.
Yeah, I think that like I don't even think this movie was like super into what the message should have been, which was like cyberbullying, right? Like it was like, oh, we gotta not cyberbully. I don't think this movie was that far invested into not cyberbullying.
They were just kind of like, everybody bullies each other. Just fucking
yeah.
This is about retribution.
There was no solution to cyberbullying. Like there was no like
a ghost's gonna come kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Like there was only that.
And then we get to the final reveal, which is that
she shit herself. Boom, the end.
She shit herself. If the movie ended right there, just turd and pants.
And then it like pans to her face and she's like, don't tell no tell no one.
What was that?
Dude, she passed out. George's like, shh.
She's shushing the camera.
Honestly, that's the type of video I'd look back on in a few years and be like, fucking legend. Look at me go.
Laura's a legend.
Like, anybody that made fun of me for this is a fucking loser.
Idiot.
Square.
What fools.
Fools.
I on the borderline of 18.
This is what peak intelligence performance looks like.
And then it like the camera like whips around. So the whole thing was that they were it was saying like it was asking Blair like who shot the video.
it was they're still playing. I was about to say fucking Heads Down 7 Up.
I'm about to say Truth or Dare.
Yeah, with fucking any random game. Oh my god, why is it escaping me? We said
5 finger death.
It's probably
Why can't I think of it? It's escaping me.
Never have I ever.
Never have I ever. Between just Mitch and Blair threw her Mitch under the bus.
Yeah,
really hard.
Blair types into a DM to Laura's ghost of like, Mitch did it, which then the knife scene happens.
Yeah.
And then there's a big reveal that actually it was Blair who shot the video.
And then, yeah, let's just gloss over that real quick.
And then everybody online's like, Blair, you're disgusting. I hate you. Kill yourself. And
yeah.
It's like, wait a second. Maybe these are the real villains.
Exactly.
All these people just going kill yourself. Like, there's a surprising amount of kill yourselves on there.
Eric, ready for the best part? Where I make the movie better?
Okay.
Blair is behind everything in the end. She killed all her friends. She did all this shit. She's the criminal fucking mastermind. And then she just like touches Laura's like rotting corpse, like, all for you. Wouldn't that be amazing if like Blair was like fucking puppeteering this whole movie?
What if she walks up to the dead body, Laura's dead body, and goes, and grabs her by the shirt collar and just says, I am the pee-pee poo-poo man.
You won't be laughing when you say my name.
Dude. Oh, she's playing like 40 chess. Oh my god.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't that be something else?
Oh my god.
If Blair was the one like defending fucking Laura through this whole thing.
Dude, it's just like, maybe that's what the second Unfriended is about. Blair is the pee-pee poo-poo man.
She's alive, right? Like in the end?
No.
It wasn't like, she killed herself after. It just kind of like faded to black.
No, the ghost of Laura slammed her computer down, and then we see like real life in front of her.
Laura, yeah.
And then she like disappears, and then it's like quiet for half a second, and then Laura's ghost comes back in and goes like, towards the computer screen. You hear a scream, and the screen goes by.
Slammed by man hands, by the way.
Yes, it was a very manly figure.
Very manly hands.
Yes, yeah.
We can get into some trivia now. I have two things that are really gonna fucking get your goats.
So, let's go into the box office stuff first. So this movie took $1 million to make.
You know why it took $1 million to make?
Why?
Because $600,000 was to get the rights on digital platforms like Skype and Facebook and all that shit.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it probably worked out for them in the long run because it made it. It was like if there was names not like Facebook or Skype and stuff like that, this movie would have been even worse.
Fucking imagine if it was just like a whole movie full of like you remember like what Dan Schneider would do to stuff, like he made the Apple thing like a pair.
Yes.
So imagine everything is like.
I was gonna make that reference.
Not spending $600,000 on that.
Well, I mean, I think you kind of had your hand forced.
But I get they made I don't know the number, but they made quite a bit in the box office.
Exactly, so it worked out in the end.
Yeah,
they made a total gross of $64.1 million. 32.5 of that was in North America. 31.6 was in other territories. There's no clarification of what the fuck that means. But I mean, I think it was also marketed as like an anti-cyberbullying film.
Oh, you mean Cybernatural?
No.
This is the original name of the movie, Cybernatural?
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me it was a whole genre of like anti-cyberbullying films. I'm okay with that as the original name. Cybernatural.
I remember I watched one movie that was like, it was an anti-cyberbullying movie. And it was very much like this one, except it was real life. But it was like named something similar, like close to Unfriended, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, no, because I remember I didn't actually watch this movie. I watched something very similar to this movie.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was online half the movie, and then the other half they went to like a warehouse and the ghost killed them all.
Yeah, she was like a witch or something.
Yeah.
And they had to like there was actually some like cool paranormal like background behind
That's
it.
That's what I thought this was.
Wait, do they go to like a con? Is it called Death Con?
Nah.
Because I watched that movie on Netflix. Which is
it's some other bullshit like blocked or unfollowed or
so
literally like a play on words of this movie.
Yeah, gotcha. Pretty much.
They also had promotionally they had a campaign off Kick, and like people could message Laura and it would come back.
Oh, that's kind of cool,
right? There's been other stuff like that where like you can like call a phone number and it has like
it's
Jason.
ARG.
Oh, some like ARG.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. Like this idea I liked. It was just executed so.
Oh, I think that the marketing team of this movie needs a fucking praise.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it did all of its marketing through social media. I remember vivid trailers of this movie coming out on probably just social media. But so it just played the social media game perfectly. And they really got rewarded for that. That's probably where most of the gross of the money came from.
Yeah, honestly. It's like they sold shit to an asshole somehow. Miraculously.
They also had like a official Facebook where they would post the photos in the movie and stuff like that. So that's kind of like the marketing was really spot on with this. Obviously, we're looking at it 8 years later, but
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it definitely had like an old feel to it. Like it kind of is a movie. Like I will go out and say that you probably shouldn't watch this movie.
This is if you watched it when it was in the hype.
Yes.
I would recommend rewatching it and just be
Right.
like, oh my god, this movie again.
Yeah, I think that it was like at the very tail end of like those found footage, all those type of movies, the Cloverfield, all the, like
It doesn't fit into that.
kind of does. Like Paranormal Activities, Paranormal Activity is technically a found footage film.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's in the same sphere, if not the same genre, in the same sphere of those movies.
I'll give adjacent.
Yeah. I feel like it's like the hardcore Henry of horror movies. It's just like first person, but like in a weird way. I mean, like,
limiting your actors to fucking one Skype box worth of scene, and like everybody else is like nobody was put in the forefront in this movie. Like nobody covered more than 50% of the screen by themselves.
Yeah.
Which that's tough to do as an actor, and that's tough to pull off as a director. It didn't work.
I'd say my favorite part was at the very beginning. You get a nice hit of nostalgia from seeing the old taskbar where you have Tumblr, MTV. What was some of the other ones they had on there? There's some shit that's not around anymore. They're just like a bunch of those old websites open that you'd only see or have open back then. I was like, all right.
I think watching a kid blender his hands, I think that was my favorite part of the movie.
In all seriousness, that one gave me a really good laugh.
I mean, it just came out of nowhere. After seeing the first girl like kind of mysteriously die, and then just see him just fucking shoving his fist into a blender, that was hysterical. And what was your favorite part? I know, it's hard to think of one. Wow.
Here, while he's thinking, I will have to redo that my actual favorite part. Definitely has to be, I think, when the kid shoots himself, just for the pure, like, it was just like every other like death in the movie was so dramatic, or not even dramatic. Everybody was like, oh my god, what's going on? They tried to help them or like something. This kid she's just like, oh, shows the paper, Adam dies, and he's like, oh shit, boom, dead. Everybody's like, oh, that's horrible, and they move on. It was just...
Yeah, they do really move on pretty fast from each other's deaths.
It just encapsulated, I think, that moment captured, like, the essence of the movie.
And
shit just happens.
It all happens in one night, too.
Yeah, no, it's just a string of it like an hour.
A couple of hours, yeah.
Couple? No, it's an hour and something.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Because it all happens in real time, right?
Yeah.
No way 6 people kill themselves over the course of an hour.
Yeah. That's what this movie's about.
Man.
Did we not watch the same movie?
You thought that was an hour?
What made you think there was a time skip in that movie?
I don't know. I think just time just like went on. They would have done a lot if it was an hour. You know what I mean? Like they wasted so much time in that movie just freaking out.
Because most of it was them like, don't press that button. That's not how you forwarded email to me, you idiot.
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of the gibberish.
Yeah,
and,
like
they had some of that nailed down, but a lot of it was like kind of bullshit.
Yeah. Okay, so you think this all took place within an hour?
Chronologically, like correct to be like minute for minute, second for second.
I don't have any evidence to say that's not true, so that's where I stand.
Sorry, I was thinking real hard. My favorite part of the movie is Ken just fucking lit up his bulb mid-conversation. That made me, like, all of us started cackling and pointing and laughing. It was like, what's that going on?
There was a bunch of moments in which we were laughing. Which, if that was like the intent, then like sure, that's pretty good. But if it wasn't the intent, I go back and forth. I think I go back and forth whether it's supposed to be like a funny movie or if it was supposed to be actual horror.
I honestly, that was just a gag. Like that was like fucking.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was, no, because it's 2014. I don't know if that was like tobacco or some shit, but like he ripped that and smoke came out.
Oh yeah.
Because everything was just like linear. Like it felt like it did feel like one cut. I know obviously like couldn't happen, but
right.
Okay.
Like,
I see that. It did feel like one cut.
There's some good parts. It's just like the idea, cool, great. Execution, not what it should have been.
No.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go into. Oh, do you have a review there? Yeah.
Sure do. To quote Jeff the Killer, there was 3 things that should have happened in this movie. Number 1, Alt F4. Number 2, Task Manager. Number 3, Command Prompt. Thank you.
So, for people not aware of what he's talking about, he's just saying, close the program out, and you'll be fine.
Because like,
turn it off, stupid.
3 separate times, they leave the Skype call just to rejoin the same Skype call. None of them will... I don't know if Facebook had like a voice thing. I know Skype wasn't the only like voice app that they could have used.
Shout out Uvu.
Yeah, right.
Uvu.
Uvu was
Uvu.
Yeah. She pulled up chat roulette at one point. We didn't even talk about
oh
that.
my
Dude,
god!
that was the most unrealistic moment of the whole movie because she went through like 20 people and not one dick.
Not one
I
dick.
think there was one.
There was one like almost dick.
But it was like blacked out.
But
it was
even if it was like the fattest, schmeediest ween you've ever seen in your life that popped up, it's still unrealistic. There's only 1 out of 20. That's like an insane like.
And nobody was listening to her, and like not that she was unattractive, but she was a pretty girl. There's no way a girl like that's gonna go through Omega without people like wanting to talk to her.
To be fair, she's like screaming, "Hi! Oh,
Yeah.
like, oh, hello! Help me! You need to call." And nope.
And then Dank Jerry's like, haha, you're you're in attack.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The reason we know it's fucking Dank Jimmy.
Oh, Dank Jimmy.
Is because their character list is so small. The chat roulette characters are credited in this movie, along with the officers that we only hear like the codes of are credited in this movie.
Yeah, we didn't go over that. They were just saying codes.
Yeah, they're just saying codes. Yeah,
and they're trying to decipher the codes during
fucking Blair pulls up like
during Val's death.
Fresno police codes. Yeah,
police blotter codes.
Yeah, like what's going on with the audio on these computers though? Because they were live. Like the cops should have been able to hear them.
Yeah,
they're like, hey cops, and the cops are like, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, because it was. I think Ken definitely had a computer, and I think maybe Adam did as well, and maybe Mitch. Again, pulling at fucking whatever. But like Blair was moving her laptop around. That was clearly a laptop. Val totally had a laptop because how she'd bring it into the bathroom. You know what I mean? Same with Jess. Jess brought it into the bathroom as well. What was my point?
I don't know.
Just like the cops, they should have been able to hear.
There we go. Cops' laptop. Boom. Full circle.
The fucking cacophony
What?
of...
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so it would be a laptop on the floor in the bathroom. The cops would have fucking heard it.
And then they would have
Right.
they would have seen it and picked it up and looked at it.
Yeah,
They
100%.
would,
But then,
they
like,
would
they,
have
like-
heard the literal like cacophony of like 5 teenagers shitting themselves. No pun intended. Just what happened? So
I mean, really good shit.
Oh, ready?
The quality
Eric?
on that shit was quality.
There we go. Ready? Here we go. Laura took over the computer with her powers and silenced them.
Oh yeah, that's the reasoning why the cops didn't hear the things. I thought you were saying like an alternate ending in
No.
which Laura...
I forgot that Laura literally like assumed the
Was a
powers
god.
of God.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, because at one point they all mute themselves and talk on the phone, and then Laura just goes, "I'm gonna unmute you," and then does.
And then they're like, "She unmuted us."
Yeah.
So one of them screamed that. I thought you were gonna say an alternate ending where Laura took over their computers and took over their bodies and then made them shit themselves.
Oh,
That would have been such an awesome movie, dude. Dude, imagine if that's just the whole movie, a vengeful ghost that just makes you shit your pants like in public. Like, I'd pay money for that. I'd see that.
That's gonna happen.
That would be the Pee Poo Poo Man.
Dude, that'd be fucking great.
That's what happens in Unfriended #2.
Oh.
Dude, just everybody's shitting. Oh, God.
Unfriended #2. Everyone's shitting.
They're all like going to the party. They get a text, do you want to play a game? Like after their first drink. And it's just like, there's been pills replaced in all your drinks. One of them is a laxative. Who will be tonight? And then they're all just sweating this intense music and just fucking. Oh shit! Look at that. Tristan's over there. You shitting?
There's a dookie.
He's shitting.
They're getting texts. There's a dookie in Jess's pants.
The producer of this movie produced Ouija and The Purge.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
You've never experienced fear like this before is the tagline.
Of Unfriended?
Of Unfriended, correct?
Well, unfortunately, we have in many different movies that it makes homages to.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the ratings. So this received a 5.5 on IMDb, 62% on Rotten Tomatoes. Pretty fucking high. Maybe sign of the times because it was like cyberbullying, looking at like shooting a movie through a different way.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of the movies where like the internet was prevalent enough where people saw it and just like, oh yeah, I'll throw this a 4-star review. That's good enough. You know?
Yeah, I think that if you're like an older person that didn't understand computers, I think you'd be pretty fine in this one. You know?
I can't believe people saw it. I can't picture this in theaters. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like I can see it on a laptop, not like in a theater where you're watching some fucking like child play on a computer for an hour and some odd minutes.
I don't know if I'd be able to keep the cackling under control when the poop shots. And I feel like that's like, I don't know, man. Like. That's just hard to reconcile with, you know.
I was gonna say, imagine us in the theater just fucking watching this girl get cyberbullied, and we just sit up going,
Dude, you saw when we watched it when it happened. I literally had to stand up and walk away. I don't know what I would do in a movie theater. I might shit myself.
All right.
So let's go ahead and give it our ratings.
All right. So Adam. What? Oh no, let's go to Eric first.
Yeah, guess
so
first.
what are we rating us like out of
1 out of 10? 1 out of 10. I have references.
Let's get some references for compared to some of the other things. I've seen some of these other ones.
Okay, going through. You want me to go through all of these? So Wrong Missy, Adam 2, me 2. Career Opportunities, Adam 4, me 5.8. Jack and Joe 1, me 0.3.
Yeah, I remember the reasoning was there might be 2 other worse movies.
So okay. There's a few dimensions on this one, and they're lacking severely in all of them. I would have to give this one a solid 3.5, and the only reason I don't give it a 3 is because of the shit, because she poops her pants. That was funny.
The poop is worth a full point.
I think it's worth that half point for me, honestly. Okay. If anything, I will remember that. I'll always remember this as the movie where the girl.
You know what? Yeah,
shout out to Caitlin Bennett, the gun girl, shat herself at Ohio State. Yeah. It's just God, I got a soft spot for it. So
what a reference.
Yep.
Adam, what are you rating this movie?
Because I'm thinking I gave Little Italy 1.5. I can't believe I did that.
Now you're seeing that mistake. Now you're seeing that as a mistake.
Because this movie may be worse than Little Italy. It's gotta be, right? There's no way.
I think it was funnier. I think we laughed at this movie more than we did Little Italy.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
It depends on how you look at it. It depends on how much you enjoyed the movie. You know what I mean? Little Italy, going back and watching it, we didn't enjoy it when we watched it very much.
Okay, yeah, so I'm putting this in between Mr. Right and Little Italy. I like Mr. Right a little bit more than this.
Wow.
Really?
Oh, fuck no. I'm giving this like a 3.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Mr. Right, I gave it a 2.5. How you rate this higher than Mr. Right then?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was crazier than Mr. Right. I mean, you know, everything happens in the second half of the movie, but I think it was crazier than Mr. Right. I think I had more fun in watching this movie than I did watching Mr. Right.
There's some type of entertainment value, you know, in there.
Have you ever seen Mr. Right?
I mean like in this one, I have not personally seen Mr. Right. Fortunately, I guess from
it's something. It's really something.
I'll give it a 3. That's my final answer.
Wow, no, keep your 2. Keep it to. Come on, you gotta stick to your guns.
No, because
Diamond hands.
I'm looking, and I gave Vampire Suck a 3, and I'm like, yeah,
Oof.
this is pretty equal with Vampire Suck.
I gave Vampire Suck a 1.
You know what? That's a really good a take there. This was pretty much just as good as Vampire Suck.
So what are you getting, Andy?
I'm giving this a 3. I'm giving this full point over Mr. Right. I rated QB Halloween way too high. I should have given that one also a 2. But
No, that was a good bad movie. You cannot prove me wrong. You gave it a 4. I convinced you.
I don't know why I did that. I caved into pressure, and this time I'm not caving into pressure. I'm giving this one a 3. I had fun watching it. I had more fun watching Mr. Right. And
You had more fun?
I had more fun watching this movie than Mr. Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounded like you said the opposite.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It is 2:42 in the morning.
Yeah, we took a little break, and that break turned into an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Do you want to plug some stuff? Eric, do you have anything to plug? Do you have your Twitch? Anything like that?
Yeah,
Your SoundCloud, go ahead.
yeah, sure. So right now I'm on SoundCloud and this is a working title because I don't have anything cooler. Just Duze, D-U-Z-E. I got some stuff up there, some more stuff coming soon. Twitch, I do a lo-fi stream a couple times a week, maybe like an hour or two, some like chilled cow lo-fi girl type stuff, but it's live, play guitar, do some loops. That Twitch is BNR Productions. That's BNR Productions. Yeah, and that's my plug.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for joining us. I mean, really fun time.
Hell yeah.
This boosted the
Super fun
experience like a good amount because
Anytime.
it's like me and Andy just like, that was good, right? Yeah, it was good. Like, it adds a whole nother element of fucking, you pointed out stuff we didn't notice and stuff like that. And
It definitely does, dude. It's fun as hell.
And you were into it. You were very, very into it.
oh yeah,
I am
glad we all meshed together and
I am
we're on the same page.
a fan of the pod for sure.
Valued
Definitely,
fan.
definitely.
Valued fan.
Yeah.
And
Of course, you can always follow us at
Netflops Pod on
Pod
Twitter.
On Twitter.
Yeah, we really need to get our shit together there.
No, that's all complete, and we haven't gotten DMs yet. Hopefully, we'll get one soon enough about a movie recommendation or comments, concerns.
Yeah, because we're always looking for more movies, whether they're on streaming services or not. Just give us bad movies that you see. I continuously come home at night and just will flip on a Netflix or a TV, and something will be on my recommended or just regularly on cable that I'm like, it blows. I'm seeing a scene out of context, but it just will blow my mind of what's happening on screen, and I just immediately go and write it down. So I imagine there's hundreds of movies like that just really kind of slip through our cracks.
Yeah, I feel like at one point.
By Vin Diesel.
Ooh.
The Pacifier. That's a fucking good one.
We should also do. You know what? There's bad Jackie Chan movies because he's in 250 movies,
wow.
Yeah.
and we can just go through his worst 10 or something like that.
Wow, that's interesting.
But what we are doing for sure is the month of December we're doing bad Hallmark movies. That's something
Yes.
everyone can look forward to.
And we may have some special guests.
Yes, I believe we do.
That are coming on those to help us break down Hallmark movies. Gonna be a fun time. I hope you like watching the same movie 4 times over.
Yeah, I was about to say it's yeah.
I mean, I will try to mix it up with a murder mystery and a wedding and
Death She Baked is on there.
Murder She Baked.
Murder She Baked.
As I told the story earlier, in an earlier podcast, that my mom was crying at a movie called Murder She Baked on the Hallmark Channel. But that is going to be it for us here. Guys, thank you for listening. All of you who listen to this podcast. We're going to be up on a YouTube too. I'm going to be fixing all that stuff up because that was a
great success.
Well, it was a place where a lot of people watched us, and
my wife.
now I can tag Borat in
hell yeah
in the
that's what
hashtags.
we need.
Yes, so makes it better. But we had a lot of success when we initially did this podcast. So getting all our stuff back up on YouTube and using that algorithm to help us get some fans, because we're doing some really interesting shit and we're dedicating a lot of time to this.
Yes, sir.
So, and we enjoy to do it. But we will talk to all of you guys next week. Thank you for listening again. All right, bye-bye.